Hi, Nancy.
So nice having you here on my channel.
Yeah, I'm excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so Alex is here today because I have an intention to share more about how PMs are supposed to be working with our cross-functional partners. I personally haven't found a lot of resources out there coming from the perspective of the partner. And most of the time, the partner is focusing on the engineering partner. And
Yep.
while engineering partner is very important, there are also a lot of other partners that PMs need to work with. And in particular, the PMM partner is very important to the success of the product. And that's why I invited Alex here to talk to us about what a PMM is, what his experience was working with a lot of different PMs in Meta, particularly Instagram, as well as other companies. So, Alex, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, well, thank you for having me and for this opportunity to be sharing about the PMM's perspective and really appreciate the opportunity. So, to give a bit of background on me, my name's Alex and PMM stands for Product Marketing Manager. I've been working as a PMM in the tech industry for a few years now. I started off my PMM career at Instagram, first as an intern and then as a full time PMM for a total of about 2.5 years on the Instagram product. So I supported product marketing on Instagram developer platform that includes all of Instagram's APIs as well as different sharing solutions, as well as a year on the Instagram story and feed ads team. And so have seen a wide range of products across the Instagram portfolio,
Right.
and then I also did product marketing in the Web3 industry for a bit as well. I was at a company called Alchemy. It's a Web3 developer platform, APIs, and also infrastructure services for any companies out there that are building apps and services in the Web3 space, whether it's NFT projects or DAOs or crypto exchanges, those types of services.
Is it safe to assume that it's a smaller company compared to
Definitely compared to
Instagram?
Instagram and Meta, Alchemy is a Series C startup doing very well. So I've seen the product marketing experience at both a big
Okay.
tech company like Instagram and a smaller startup as well.
Perfect. That's perfect.
Yeah.
So now tell us more about what a PMM is and what they're supposed to do.
Yeah, definitely. We sit as a core member of a product team at a company, and our job is essentially to have really deep understanding of the market needs, of user needs, as well as deep understanding of the product. And the way we get that deep understanding is by constantly be talking to users through qualitative interviews, as well as working with other members of the product team, such as, say, the data scientists, to dig into the numbers and understand the usage of the product as well. And so we develop this very deep understanding. And at the end of the day, we use this understanding to help guide and inform the product team on what they should be building, what changes they should be making to the product to ensure that whatever the team is working on is actually something the market wants.
Got it. And this is true in big tech and small startups?
Yep, I would say that it is true across, company size and different size of companies and whatever the product focus is.
Got it. Got it. You must have worked with a lot of different PMs.
Mhm.
What made the partnership good and what didn't?
Yeah, definitely. So there are a couple things I would say. So first, as a PMM, the best experience I had were the product teams and specifically the product managers who understood that a PMM can play a really valuable role on the team. When they partnered with me in a way where they understood the value that we bring to the table, that actually made for really, really productive relationships. So now I'm kind of getting into what a PM should, how they should be working with PMM in the most valuable way.
Yeah.
If the PMs who understand what a PMM does will actually have the most productive working relationships. The PMM helps define the product and figures out how to communicate it to users. And the PMs who understand that that's actually the PMM superpower will have the best experience. So, for example, a PMM can really help deduce, is our product for smaller businesses or really large B2B businesses who should not be users of our product, to make sure that We don't communicate to certain segments in a particular way. How should we be talking externally about our product relative to our competitors, relative to other products in our company's portfolio to really differentiate the value proposition that our product brings? So the PMs who are able to leverage PMM to do that work and really have them take ownership of that, I think do very well. I would
What
also,
happens when they don't understand that that is the PMM's superpower?
yeah, I would say that they're probably then not optimizing for the best results. So let's say if you don't leverage a PMM to position the product well within the market, then
Mhm.
let's say you do ship a product to the market and you're probably not actually reaching the exact users who will get the most out of what you're actually building. And so if you can rely on a PMM to really flesh that out and make that very, very clear, then I think you're optimizing for reach, for success, and what you actually want your product to do.
How should a PM look at the PMM role versus the user research role? Because
Mm,
PMM understands the market and
yep.
understands user segments really well.
Hmm.
What about user research? And how
Yeah,
does
that's
PMM work together with the research team?
yeah, that's actually a very good question. I think this is also dependent on the type of company that you're at. I think a larger company like Meta has PMMs, has user researchers,
Mhm.
and there often is a lot of overlap, at least in my experience on the teams where there have been user researchers. The UXRs, the researchers focused on the actual exactly how the product is being used. So there would be screencasts and would click on, okay, which button do they then go to, and really understanding how the product should be designed at kind of like that step by step level.
Yeah.
PMM's role is more to understand fundamentally what value is a user getting out of this product.
Mhm.
What are their really, really deep pain points that they experience, not just with their product, but what the user is just trying to have get done by using this app. And so I would say that if you can combine both the insights that a UXR brings as well as what a PMM brings, you probably have maximum knowledge and that you have access to.
Just also understand the competitive landscape really well, right?
Mhm. Yep, that's correct. I think a big part of a PMM's role is to understand competitor products. How else are our product teams users, our products users using or trying to get a certain job done, by using the app? Is it through a competitor product? Are they hacking something? Are they doing something very manual? And so a PMM's understanding of that competitive landscape will really help the PM help shape the vision and the direction of the products.
Makes sense. Moving on to our second
Yep.
advice.
A PMM can also be the PM's closest partner for helping validate the product direction or where they want it to go and the vision that they have. So, for example, to really crystallize this, PMM is often doing inbound research. So, talking to the users of the product and interviewing them to really gain deep understanding of how they use their product, their pain points, their needs. Let's say a PM actually has a specific vision for this new feature that they're building or where they want to take their product. They can work with the PMM to then say, can you ask these specific questions so that we get better understanding if my thinking is correct? Are we actually hearing our users say that this is a pain point or this hypothesis that I have, is that true or not based on the questions we ask? And you can actually even have the PMM pull and write down quotes of what they hear from the users, which then the PM can take and put it into their decks, use in whatever docs they need to do to actually move the product forward. So that's definitely one tactical way that a PM and PMM can partner. And in fact, a PMM really appreciates when the PM has an interest in hearing directly from the users. And something that I would often do is to invite not just the PM, but also the whole product team to any of my user interviews that I would do so they can actually
Mhm.
hear and actually it would really crystallize their understanding of what their product is actually, how it's being used in the market
Right.
versus just internally within the company when you're building it.
We have one more advice for our PM friends.
Yes. So this is if a PM really understands this, I think the PMM it can go a really really long way in the working relationship. And so, in my opinion, I think the product marketing manager role is relatively newer or
Mm.
not as well known within the industry. And so, given that, it's harder for other roles within a company to know exactly what a PMM should be working on, or what's within the scope of their responsibilities. So one of the fallouts of this is that because people don't really know what a PMM does exactly,
Uh-huh.
then they see that a PMM can actually do lots of tasks. There's lots of overlap with other roles. So whenever there is an ambiguous task or that some multiple people can actually probably take on,
Yeah.
my experience has been it often just gets pushed to the PMM. It's like, oh hey, the PMM can take that because they're talking to customers. Hey, the PMM can take that because they were working with the DS on looking at the numbers.
Uh-huh.
And so I would say to not necessarily default to a
Right.
PMM to take on a task where it's not clear who should be doing that, and so who should be working on that task. I would say that that would go a really long way with the PMM. The PMM will love the PM if if that's their stance.
It sounds like you have personal experience in this area.
Yeah, and so I would say that I've worked with a variety of PMs. There's
Yeah.
one that comes to mind who was one of my best partners, and I had
Mhm.
the best experience with him. I would say that there was actually one thing that he did that I really appreciated,
Mhm.
and he and I worked really well together. And what that was is my PM on the team I supported. He really proactively tried to figure out ways to scale the way that he and I work together, and even also scale my bandwidth and actually save me time, and so that I'm spending my time on the most impactful work. So just to give you an example of exactly that, so he and I worked on a product that had a lot of sensitivity to changes due to kind of legal reasons, and essentially it was like an advertising product. And so we needed to get clearance from our legal team anytime we
Yeah.
made even the tiniest adjustment to a product, what even if it's like a change in the font size of the way that the of our product. And so it was really tedious to actually keep going to legal and to get their sign off on any product that we wanted to ship. This is also a very high velocity team. We shipped 30 to 50 new products or new changes to our existing products about every 6 months. And so what my PM did is he approached me and said, hey, look, I see that you're spending a lot of time on this, and I would love to figure out a way that we can kind of like help save you time and scale. So what he and I did, we worked on a framework to
Mhm.
then first come up with essentially a self-serve model or set of rules that our engineering team can then just check off about
Right.
the legal front themselves. And then he and I essentially divided and conquered. So any existing features that we were changing, because I had familiarity with it and I had talked to users about existing features, then I would take the lead on those conversations with legal. Any net new features he was most intimately familiar with because he's the product manager leading the team. He would lead those conversations with our legal team. And so this ended
Mhm.
up saving both of us a ton of time. I really appreciated him proactively coming to me to scale this work, and that's one example that really jumps out at me as to a really awesome PM, and that led to a great partnership between us.
That is such a good point, and people don't often talk about these things, you know.
Mhm.
When it comes to the PM role, people mostly say, "Yeah, define product direction, right? Ship,
Yeah.
drive impact for business." But all these soft skills are it impacts the team on a day to day. And like you said, it was the PM observing you and
Mhm.
PM thinking about, okay, can we how can we create higher velocity? How can we help Alex be more productive? Hence, help the team be more productive. And I feel that that is a very important call out, that perhaps not it's not just on the PM to make these observations. Perhaps a call out here is everyone on the product team. It's a team sport, right? Let's pay
Mhm.
attention to every member on the team and think about the best case scenario, when everyone is able to operate at their capacity in a very efficient way, then the product itself can be a lot more efficient and successful.
Yeah, absolutely. I would say that the PM, I mean, in many ways, they play a leadership role, whether or not they're a direct manager of anyone on the team. And the ones that I've found to be the most successful or the most impactful are the ones who do observe and kind of identify, like figure out, like, hey, what role are these people playing? How can we leverage them in the most productive way? Because then those people also feel like they're not wasting anyone's time. Their time isn't being wasted, and the PMs who are proactively observant of that, I found to do really really well.
Also, it really makes you feel that you're appreciated, right? Because
100%.
it doesn't matter who makes the observation, someone on the team is appreciating you,
Yep.
and that
Yep.
makes you feel that much better about being on this team and wanting to do right by the team and just do more and contribute more.
Yeah. Absolutely. 100%.
Yeah. Well, it was so good talking to you.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for this opportunity. Yeah, I had a lot of fun, and yeah, appreciate you having me on.
We'll talk soon.
All right. Cool. Thanks,
Thanks.
Nancy.
Bye.
Okay. All right. See ya.